Hey Booktube, let's talk about The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. Before we get into this video, I want to take a second to pause so that you can go ahead and add this to your cart, so you can go ahead and put this on hold at your library and go ahead and press that buy button and go ahead and press the hold on it, okay? Because I need you to read this today if you have not. This book was released at the end of 2023, so many of you have probably already read it, and what I'm about to say is no surprise to you because you already know every page in this book gave exactly what it was supposed to give. Yes, Miss Tananarive Due, yes, she did what she was supposed to do with her pen when she was writing this book because it was just that good. The author, yes. The voice actor for the audiobook, yes. The cover illustrator, yes. All of them, yes, yes, yes. The plot, yes. Character development, yes. The setting, yes. The feels that you will feel from this book, all of them. You will feel all of them. So let's get into this book. This is the horror genre, but I'd say it's more of a horror mixed with historical fiction. Now the setting, it takes place in Florida, and this is during the Jim Crow era in the South. If you're not familiar with that, just take a few seconds to go ahead and look that up and find out what the Jim Crow era is, because that is going to help you better understand this book and the plot. Now, in the book, we follow Robbie and his older sister, Gloria. Their mom is dead, and their father, he's accused of a crime that he did not commit against a white woman. So the townspeople, as well as the clan, they have forced the father to evacuate the city, and he has relocated to Chicago. Now, he still secretly keeps in touch with his family, and he sends them items as well as letters, and sometimes he will call. And the Gloria and Robbie, their children, so they're taken care of by their around 80-year-old godmother. Her name is Miss Lottie. Now, when you read this book, I want you to keep in mind that this book is based on a true story. That's what makes it even more of a horror story, what makes it eerie and creepy, because you know what these boys are being put through in this story, and you know that it's actually based on a true story. Now, Robbie, he's 12 years old, and he ends up being sent to the Reformatory school because he hit the son of a wealthy man, a well-respected man named Mr. McCormack. He did this to protect his older sister, Gloria. Now, the judge ended up sentencing Robbie to 6 months at the Gracetown School for Boys. This is a reformatory school where boys that are accused of committing crimes, as well as some orphans, are sent, and Robbie is sent there for 6 months. Now, just because he's sent for 6 months, it does not mean that that's exactly when he's going to be sent home, because some boys, their time is extended up into adulthood until they're 21, because that is the age at which this school no longer accepts those boys. So they're young children all the way up until the age of 21. Now, keep in mind, the Gracetown School for Boys is based on an actual school in Florida called the Dozier School for Boys. The Dozier School for Boys was in existence from 1900 all the way until 2011. Now, this is a long time for this school to be in place. Now, imagine the setting. You're in the middle of nowhere in Jim Crow South. You're a 12-year-old black boy, and you're also in the middle of the woods with other young boys who've been committed of crimes. And these are not just young black boys. These are also white boys that are at this school, but the white boys are on a separate part of campus. Now imagine you're that young in the middle of the woods where no one can hear your screams. You can be tortured and no one would ever know where you are and what's happening to you. Now, at the Reformatory, we meet Mr. Haddock. He's the superintendent of the school. We also meet Boone, who is a member of the staff. Now, Boone, he loves Mr. Haddock. He's going to do whatever Mr. Haddock tells him to do. Throughout the book, Haddock and Boone torture the boys, and some of this torture eventually ends up in murder, which is hidden from a lot of members of the community. Now, as we go through this book, we actually see how evil Haddock and Boone are. As I mentioned, they're at a haunted school. This school is haunted by haints. If you're not familiar with haints, this is a term mainly used in the South and Southern folklore for a restless spirit or a ghost. And Robbie, he can easily see these haints in the school. This becomes beneficial to Haddock and Boone, and we begin to see that their dynamic change towards the middle and the end of the book. Now, is this a good change or not? We don't know yet, but we'll be able to see that towards the end of the story. There are themes of friendship in this book, strong family bonds, forgiveness, as well as loyalty and revenge. Gloria and Robbie have an unbreakable bond throughout this book, which I really enjoyed. I really love it. It will pull at your heartstrings. Gloria is the type of sister that if I had a sister, I would want her to be like Gloria. Throughout this book, Gloria knows that what is being done to Robbie is wrong. She does a lot to try to get him out of this reformatory school. She reaches out to members of the NAACP. She tries to find an attorney for him. She does everything that she possibly can to reach out and find connections that can help get Robbie out of this school. This book includes significant amounts of torture as well as death. So before you go into this, just be aware that that is a lot of the plot, a lot of it is centered around that. This is one of the best yet saddest books that I've ever read, and it's going to stay with me for a while. Towards the end, I just couldn't put it down. I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning trying to finish it because I just wanted to know what was going to happen to Robbie and to the rest of the boys in the story. What was going to happen with Gloria? Was she going to be successful with getting Robbie out of this school? Now, once you finish the book, you'll get a chance to read the author's notes. And this is a note describing exactly what parts of the story were fictitious and where she drew the idea from the story from. This was based on a relative of hers who was sent to the Dozier School of Boys, the original school, and ended up dying there. Now, usually during a fictional story, if there are parts that are just extremely sad and I'm feeling it because I'm so deep into this story, I'll tell myself, this is not real. This is just a story. This is something that an author wrote that came up out of their mind and just put it on paper. But then when you realize that this is historical fiction, it's based on a true story, and you don't know until the end of it when you read the author's note which parts of it were actually fictitious. You tell yourself, it's not real, but it could be. It's based on a true story. So there are boys that could have actually gone through this. And that's what makes it even sadder. That's what makes it more eerie and more of a horror story. Now, at this Dozier School of Boys, there is said that it's estimated that around 100 boys ended up dying from 1900 to 2011 when the school was shut down. If you have not read this book, please take some time to go ahead and reserve this at your library or purchase it because it's well worth the read. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this content, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you soon.